Hello there and welcome back to Newfound Dreamer, where I help you create the life of your dreams. Today's episode is part 2 of our New Year, New You series, and we will be focusing on finding your why. I am so happy that you are joining me for part 2 of our New Year, New You series. In last week's episode, we talked about defining your dreams. Now that you have gotten crystal clear on what your dreams are, it's time to figure out why your dreams are so important to you. Have you ever had a conversation with a young child who has asked you a question, then keeps following up your answer with, "But why?" Young children are so eager to learn more. They continue to question you even after you provided what you believe to be a legitimate answer. I really admire their curiosity. They dig deeper than the surface level answers because they know there is more to the story. So today I challenge you to question your dreams with the curiosity of a young child. I want you to question your dreams until your why becomes big enough to make you cry. And if you are not the emotional type, your why needs to be so powerful that staying where you are is no longer an option. But why, you may ask? You see what I did there? As humans, we are hardwired to resist change. The amygdala, which is part of our brain, interprets change as a threat to the body and releases the hormones for fear, fight, or flight. In other words, your body is actually trying to protect you from change. Change requires us to step outside of our comfort zone, which to us is a place of unknown. Our desire for change forces us to become uncomfortable because in order to get where we want to be, we have to do things we have never done. Our body's natural instinct is to protect us, which is why we create excuses that keep us from taking action on our goals. When we have a strong why, one that eliminates the option of staying the same, the thought of staying stuck becomes scarier than taking action. There will still be days when you do not feel motivated and you will make excuses, but it is on those days when having a strong why is so important. When you reflect on your why, you will feel drawn to take action. In the words of Steve Jobs, if you are working on something exciting that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. So now for the fun part. And by fun, I mean the part where I get to ask questions and you get to answer them. I recommend writing down your answers in the New Year, New You workbook. If you do not have a copy, you can click on the link in the show notes below to download your free copy. If you have more than one dream, I encourage you to focus on one at a time. Once you have developed a strong why, move on to the next one. Now for the first question. Why do you want to achieve your dream? Write down the first answer that comes to your mind. Now, I want you to reflect on your answer. If your answer doesn't move you deep in your soul, it is not enough to keep you committed. Don't worry, your first answer will most likely not be the reason that moves you deep in your soul. That's okay. That is why we are doing this exercise. Now, I want you to remember that curious young child. Question your answer and ask yourself why. Then question it again and again until you uncover the reason that moves you deep in your soul. Dig deep to get to the root of why your dreams are so important to you. I promise you will know when you uncover your real why. And when you do, I want you to write it down and place it somewhere that you will see often. Remind yourself of your why daily. Let your why be the vision that pulls you. As I mentioned earlier, this exercise is included in the New Year, New You workbook. You can download your free copy by clicking on the link in the show notes below. Remember, your why should be powerful enough to remove the option of staying the same. If you do not have a strong why, it may often feel easier to cave to your excuses instead of moving forward. Now, I want to hear from you. What was your biggest takeaway from today's video? Let me know in the comments below. That is all for today. Be sure to subscribe so you do not miss out on future videos. And make sure to tune in next week for part 3 of our New Year, New You series to learn about goal setting. If you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. And remember to do one thing today that will bring you closer to living your dream life. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.